What's my mother name?
What we do here is go back.
What's up, guys? KW175 back with another Pokemon Duel video, and I have some more pro tips and tricks for you guys. So, we're going to be talking about a couple of things, mainly good habits to get into, and talking about different placement strategies, knowing how to look out for cheese, and how you can cheese your opponent and get some wins, and kind of what to look for. So again, jumping into the featured duels, this is going to be the best way for you guys to kind of take a look at figures and take a look at their abilities, take a look at the wheels, see which figures are going to be most commonly used at the time you're playing. Everything that you're seeing on the screen right now is just for the moment. The meta game changes, usually every couple banners, but there's been several figures that have been in the game for quite a while. And so I think it's a really good way to try to get some good deck ideas, and then you can watch them to see how the decks perform. Now, we're not going to be watching this duel at all. I just want to show you guys some habits that I think everybody who plays this game should get into, and some of the best players do. So right away when you're starting out, you want to be clicking on figures. Let's just assume that you guys don't know what Zapdos does. Well, you're going to be looking at the wheel, you're going to be looking at the ability. You will see that he can soar, checking the plates, seeing that they have a gold block, that they have a long throw, that they have an Ampharosite. So looking at Zapdos, it's an electric type. It has a 110, so you could be thinking to yourself, okay, well, he doesn't have any X attacks, so he has a 110. So if you have a wheel that can beat that 110, it's going to be no problem. Ampharos, has a 109 and a 91. Looking at the wheel without clicking on the details, you may pick some bad matchups, but he does have an ability. Every Pokemon that's paralyzed on the field, all electric types while Ampharos is on the field is going to get a plus 10. So if there's one Pokemon that's paralyzed, that 109 is going to turn into a 119, and that 91 is going to be a 101. So that's something that you definitely want to know, and that Override is going to paralyze all adjacent Pokemon, and that Zapdos could easily paralyze a whole string, possibly the whole entire field. Mega Ampharos, you see the Pokemon evolves, and then if you just take a look at the wheel, it's just a 122 and a 110. Well, I have a base 130, I can beat that. Well, no, he gets a plus 20, and he's going to be giving all electric types a plus 10, as well as dragons. So if there's another electric dragon type, which I don't think there is, but all electric and dragon types are going to get a plus 10. So since Mega Ampharos is electric and dragon, obviously he's going to get a plus 20. So again, checking plates. You're jumping into the duel. First thing you want to do is check plates. You want to be looking at figures that you're not familiar with. If you have to check a couple times, at least look at the Pokemon that they move with. If they come out with Ampharos, you want to do that. Also, I was tapping to show you the PC. He's going to be able to pull somebody out of the PC, and if he was in the center of the bridge, he could drop it anywhere. If he's moving up on your goal, and he goes Mega Ampharos, he could easily drop somebody down on your goal and you could lose. Or if he's devolving, when he devolves. So if there's Pokemon in the Ultra Space off the board, like Nihilego goes to the Ultra Space if it's knocked out, but it negates energy plates when it hits the field, so that's something to note. That Symbiont Marker, if you knock it out, you're not going to be able to move it. Celesteela, you're able to rocket ride other Pokemon 3 spaces away, so if Celesteela is within 3 spaces of your goal, and there's another figure adjacent to it, like if you don't cover up that goal, you're going to lose, and it's Flame Gun. Or it's going to get Flame Gun on the Flamethrower attack, so it's going to have more purple before its first battle. Things that you definitely want to know. Tapu Koko, looking at the wheel, it's like, oh, well, this is pretty weak. Well, it's able to go through Pokemon. It gets a plus 30 when it attacks. All electric types get a plus 30. And that Melemeliwish, Zapdos, again, able to paralyze everybody with that Thunder Charge. Has that 110, but that's going to turn into a 140 when attacking with Tapu Koko on the field. And then if you have the Mega Ampharos on the field, that's going to be another plus 20, or if it's just regular Ampharos, you're going to get a plus 10 for every Pokemon that's paralyzed. So, I know it's overwhelming, guys. I know it's a lot to take in, but you just need to focus on one duel at a time, and then in your free time, checking figures in the featured duels and the material exchange. But whenever they bring a figure out, like Coco, if they go there on the corner, you know, before you just move out and try to block them off like you would normally, you want to look at them. Pheromosa with the call signal, able to bring Pokemon back from the Ultra Space. So you need to know, like, what the Ultra Space is, you know, how many Pokemon are there. Also, it negates damage boosting effects, like Tapu Koko, in its first battle. It's able to freeze Pokemon, so you want to be careful that if you attack into it, you could get frozen and banished. Also, for every Pokemon that's in the Ultra Space, it gets an additional MP. So this could be on one of your entry points. It's a 2 MP. You knock out a Nihilego, now it's going to get a 3 MP, and you don't have your goal covered, and you could potentially lose. So these are good habits to get into, guys. I'm telling you. Check their plates. The plates control the match generally, and then you want to be looking at abilities. Don't just take their wheel at face value. There's a lot of abilities in the game, and you just got to take it one duel at a time. You know, if the opponent goes first, you know, you're not sure about the figure, you want to click on it real quick, even if it takes 5-10 seconds, you know. Taking that 5-10 seconds and picking the right matchup and setting it properly could definitely mean the difference between you automatically losing or having a fighting chance. Again, you can click on the player, then you can click on the figures. Now, if they have a Mega Form set, you're not going to be able to look at the Mega, but if you want to jump into the material exchange shop, so it's like, oh hey, I know that there's a Mega Mewtwo because I see the Mega Mewtwo plate. I see they have the evolution set, but every figure is going to be in here, guys, except for like gym exclusives. So you can come in here, you can take a look at the ability. It's like, okay, all psychic types are going to get a plus 20. You know, it has the hypersonic, just like Mew, where 100 plus attack doesn't knock it out. It has the annihilate, 3 MP. So definitely something to note. So I hope all of that was helpful. So now we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to switch gears here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, because I definitely put a lot of time and, you know, some effort into making this for you guys. I thought it would be fun and a good way to showcase some placement, some cheese strategies that you can use, and how to watch out for them so you don't get cheesed and lose the match. I'm kind of taking a page from Listener. Back whenever he used to stream, he would go into like MS Paint and he would have a layout of the board, and then he would kind of draw these circles and be like, okay, if this, you know, Pokemon went here, if Deoxys Speed Form came out here, you would want to move and set up here. So I'm using actual Pokemon sprites, and it's just going to be still images, and I'm going to be changing the image as we go through this. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys are enjoying these videos, these pro tips, and they're helping you out, definitely be sure to leave a like. So we're going to be talking about Swap Spot. Swap Spot, this plate is very sneaky. So I talked about this in the last video. If you have Zapdos, say Zapdos is, you know, it's 3 spaces from their goal. They have plenty of backup, right? They have Coco, they have the Feeny. Well, you have your Shuppet next to the Zapdos. So let's just say the opponent's like, okay, well, that Zapdos isn't in range. If it does want to move up and attack my Coco, I have Finny. Well, you have Swap Spot. So you play it, you tap Shuppet. It plays the plate on Shuppet. Then you tap Zapdos. Shuppet and Zapdos switch places, and then Shuppet moves in to take the goal. And then that's going to be GG. Like, you just got a quick, easy, cheesy win. So Swap Spot. You know, you want to be looking and seeing if your opponent has it, and that's a good way to use it. Now, counterattack. Let's say you're Regirock sitting on the goal. The opponent has Coco and Finny on both your entry points. Well, you have a Zapdos. Now, it's important that it's Zapdos because Zapdos has Soar, the ability to go through Pokemon. And counterattack states that if both your entries are blocked, you can add any figure, you can add a +1 MP for 1 turn. So they take both your entry points. You're going to play this counterattack plate on your Zapdos, and even though they have the Yveltal there, kind of thinking it's like, oh, well, hey, I got chain levels and I got a couple of Dark Mist. I'm doing a ton of damage. Zapdos, you're not going to beat me. Nope. Counterattack, you're going to soar right over top, take the goal, and that's going to be GG, boys. So counterattack. Always look at your opponent's plates. And if they have it, you want to make sure your goal's covered and, you know, before you take it. So, scoop up. Surprisingly, I see this a lot of time in featured duels, even against opponents that I'm playing, they miss the scoop up a lot. Well, let's just say they have their Coco there, their, you know, your Reggie's there. They move in with the Yveltal to go for the attack, because if they get the knockout, then that's pretty much going to be game, because you can't goal block, and they're threatening game with 2 figures. Well, the Yveltal doesn't get the knockout, and the opponent thinks, well, you know what, that's fine. There's no Pokemon on the bench, there's no max revive for anybody to come out and surround me. Well, think again, we have the scoop up plate. So I would probably scoop up the Shuppet, because Zapdos is going to be a pretty good matchup for that Feeny, and Shuppet's not going to really do too much except surround. So you're going to be able to play the scoop up plate, bring Shuppet down, get the surround, send the Yveltal to the PC, and now you have a little bit of extra backup, and Coco's going to have to get pretty lucky to kill Regirock. Now, Invincibility Cape. The Invisibility Cape. It's something that not a lot of people use because it costs 3 plate slots. But let's just say you move the Regirock onto their entry point. You're trying to set up a surround on Feeny, and just for argument's sake, let's just say that Feeny's not able to go through Pokemon. It's just a Pokemon. You're trying to take the entry point and set up a surround. Well, the Invisibility Cape is going to allow them to come off the bench and surround you. So be careful of that Invisibility Cape, especially on a 3 or 4 MP Pokemon. Now, this is the classic Shuppet Trap. You have Shuppet in the middle on top of your bridge. And then you have just, it doesn't matter what Pokemon they are, but you have a Pokemon on either side of Shuppet. In this case, we have Zapdos and Regirock. So it's going to deter the enemy from advancing and attacking, because if they do move up and attack, say Feeny wants to move up and attack that Regirock, you're going to be able to move Shuppet right up, get a surround. It's a pretty nice strategy, especially for starting out. Now, this is another strategy that not a lot of people use or they'll miss. So having the swap spot isn't just good for cheesing and getting a win, but also getting some really clutch surrounds. So we have the Yveltal blocked off with the Shaman Skyform. Well, there's nothing in range that can surround the Yveltal, right? So it was a good play, right? Well, no, because we have a swap spot. So Shuppet can change spots with the Regirock. Now, 3 MP from the entry point, moving up, getting a surround on that Yveltal. Now, this is my favorite way to use swap spot, other than just outright taking the goal. But let's just say you're in this position, okay? You have Shaman Skyform. It's able to go through Pokemon, right? It's right next to the goal. Regirock is blocked off from taking the entry point by Yveltal. Well, you can play the swap spot on the Shaman Skyform. Then you can switch it with the Regirock, putting Regirock right next to Tapu Koko. And the Shaman Skyform is 3 MP, able to go through Pokemon. So now you're going to be able to go through those other Pokemon and surround the goal in one turn. And we didn't even have to attack the Yveltal, and they thought they had pretty good defense, but they were mistaken. Now, this is going to be a lesson in knowing your figures, knowing exactly which attacks they have, what their abilities do. So we're going to say that Regirock and Zapdos are your figures, and the opponent has Yveltal, and they have the Tapu Koko on your entry point. Now, you would think, well, Zapdos and Regirock, this is going to be really good defense. The Yveltal is going to have to get pretty lucky to knock out Regirock and knock out Zapdos. Well, let's take a look at Regirock's wheel. He has Explosion. And what does Explosion do? Well, this Pokemon and all neighbor Pokemon faint. So, this Yveltal could definitely move up, attack the Regirock, boom, Explosion, and now all 3 of those Pokemon die. And the Tapu Koko is just sitting on the entry point. There's nothing you can do. You can only move out that far with, you know, Shuppet or any other 3 MP, and you lose. So definitely you don't want to set up right next to Regirock if he's defending your goal in that type of situation. Just know your figures and set up properly. Now, you know, this is a pretty simple lesson. Tapu Koko, you're not going to just move up and block him because he's able to go through figures. Again, make sure you're checking the details. Now, let's say Tapu Koko, he sets up in the same position, and you know that he's able to go through Pokemon, so you're going to move just right at the entry point, and it's Regirock in this example, but let's just say it's another Pokemon, and Koko moves up and attacks. You get knocked out. There's nothing on the field to goal block. and there's no way that you can get out. Unless you have a long throw and another fairy type to block Koko, that's going to be game. So definitely proper placement, guys. If Koko or any other Pokemon advances like this on the first turn, you need to move out from the right side. Then they're going to take the entry, and now you're going to be able to safely cover the goal. Now, this is a lesson in why you want at least one 3MP Pokemon. Or at least have a long throw. Because now, if they have another 3MP, they're going to be moving up with the Shaman Sky form. And all you have is 2 MPs. So you can only move out this far. This leaves a nice little pocket for the opponent to move up and set up a surround. And again, if you don't have long throw, and that's an expensive plate, that's 160 gems. You know, that's as far as you can get out with another 2 MP. And you're going to get surrounded. Obviously, you would attack in that situation, but if you don't get the knockout, if you go neutral, or you yourself get knocked out, you know, that's a tough way to lose. So having at least one runner is definitely nice. And Zapdos is able to soar. Say you check their plates, well, oh, they don't have hurdle jump, I can just block them. Well, no, Zapdos is able to soar over other Pokemon that don't have soar. So that's definitely a bad setup. Now, this is something that I wanted to talk about. A Pokemon who, you know, can move through other figures, or let's just say they have hurdle jump. But in this case, Koko's able to go through Pokemon, and you don't have your goal covered. So you don't want to move up and risk attacking, or just moving up and maybe you have hurdle jump, because all the opponent needs to do to punish you is move one step on the other side of you. Because you're going to have to cover up the goal if you want to play it safe. I mean, you could attack Koko, but if you lose that roll or go neutral, it's going to be game. So the smart play is to cover up the goal, but now you're going to get punished. You're going to lose your Yveltal. They're going to come out and surround it. So you never want to press forward on a 3MP Pokemon that's able to threaten game like that, because you will get punished. Now, this is going to be another lesson in knowing, you know, how far to advance, you know, not getting greedy and trying to press forward too far too quick. So let's just say they're pressing forward with their Yveltal. You have a Pokemon that's able to go through other Pokemon, a 3MP, Shaman Sky form. So they're looking, they're like, okay, well, if I take the entry, all you need to do is take the entry and threaten game. So they're going to have to go defensive. Now, instead of taking the entry point, you're going to take that top corner, and now you're setting up a surround. They're going to have to either attack and risk losing the game, or play it safe, cover up the goal, and that's the way to do it. And then you're going to be able to come out and get a surround and punish the opponent. So there's no need to press forward like that in that center spot in the center square. You know, just taking the corner is fine. Now, Feeny is a fairy type, so you're going to be able to block Tapu Koko. But if you don't have a fairy type to block Tapu Koko, again, you can kind of come out from the right side. Koko can't reach you. If Koko moves up and takes the entry point, you're going to be able to cover the goal just fine. And I think that's got to be one of the most important lessons, is either block a 3MP, and if you're not able to block them, you need to come defensive from the right or the opposite side. Now, let's just say for argument's sake that Koko is not able to go through other Pokemon. Or we have Feeny and it's a fairy type, so it's not able to go through it. But the opponent has hurdle jump. You never want to press forward on a 3MP Pokemon like this, because all they need to do, throw out that hurdle jump. Now they're threatening game. So again, even if you have Tapu Koko to bring out and block Koko, or for argument's sake, this is just a normal 3MP Pokemon, and you have another 3MP, you can block them, but again, you just got punished, and you got surrounded. So block a 3MP at all times. I see a lot of people do this. Somebody will start out with a 3MP Pokemon, and they're like, well, I'm just going to rush up this side. I can get a little bit closer to their goal. Well, then they just move up and take your entry point. And if you don't have goal block, you're going to have to backtrack anyway and attack. And if you lose that or go neutral, that's going to be game. So guys, I really hope these tips helped you. It's just kind of some basic strategy and setting up and knowing how to check plates. But I think there's a lot of value here, and I think there's a lot of strategies and placement techniques that maybe new players have not even seen or thought of, and even players that have been playing for a long time, maybe there's something new in here that you haven't seen or thought of yet. So guys, let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this helped you out. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Follow me on Twitter at KDub175. And until the next one, later guys.